Has the New Zealand dollar bottomed? And if so, how high could it go? Hi everyone, my name is Justin Bennett with Daily Price Action. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the NZDUSD, the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar. I'm going to share with you some key levels I'm watching, as well as what it's going to take for buyers to really turn this thing higher and just how far it could go. Let's get started right now. A quick disclaimer that today's video is for educational purposes only. All views are my opinion and are not intended as investment advice. Forex is a high reward, high risk business, and you should not trade with borrowed money or money you cannot afford to lose. See the description of this video for the full disclaimer. Before we begin, be sure to hit that subscribe button below and also click the bell icon so you get notified every time I post these videos. So the NZDUSD is finally starting to look interesting, and this comes after weeks of sort of chopping sideways. I haven't been interested in this thing for quite some time because notice how the pair has really chopped sideways without much direction. All right, the last time we traded this was back here, this ascending channel, and I wrote about this thing on the blog, and I even wrote when the pair closed right here and said we were selling, and our first target was down here, and then the next one was down in this area. All right, but for the most part, recently, I have not been interested in the New Zealand dollar because of the price action. That said, there are several things happening, especially this week, that give me reason to believe we could have an opportunity on our hands. But before we get into all the details, I want to start with some high-level stuff because there's a trend line here that dates back years that I want to show you. So if I hop over to the monthly time frame, what we're looking at right here are the 2001 lows. So these are the 2001 lows way back here. And notice what's happening. So if we extend a trend line from these lows to intersect with this multi-year low, look what's happening this week. All right, we're getting a retest of that trend line. So even if this trend line fails over the next few months, chances are, because this is such a prominent trend line that dates back to 2001, chances are we're going to see at least some kind of move higher from the New Zealand dollar. So that's the first thing I want to show you. And next up, if I move to the weekly time frame, there also appears to be a falling wedge that's been forming. So we have this upper line that's pretty well defined, and we also have this lower level that touches off of this swing low back here, and also again this recent low on October 1st bounced right from this support level. And again, here's our upper level. So this is a pretty well defined falling wedge, and again, when we put this into context with that 2001 trend line, notice where the pair is right now. So falling wedge, right? Falling wedge right here coming into this multi-year trend line support from 2001. So those three levels alone change the entire context of this other chart that we just looked at. So looking at it like this, you would say, well, this pair is in a downtrend, and there's really not much reason for me to think that it might bounce. But again, we have that 2001 trend line combined with that falling wedge support. So this right here is the falling wedge support. And again, notice October 1st retested that level. Furthermore, we also have this descending channel that could act as a reversal pattern. So if you're familiar with the way I trade, I tend to use these descending channels after a downtrend like this as a potential bottoming pattern, because these tend to act a lot like a falling wedge where buyers tend to come in and start pushing the pair higher. So notice this is a perfect example. Notice how this low right here is higher than the October 1st low. And if the pair is able to really carve this higher low, so in other words, if they can continue to push this higher, this would be the first higher low since all the way back here in July. Now, it's still going to take a daily close above this channel resistance. So up here around 63.60, it's going to take a daily close above this area in order to turn the New Zealand dollar higher up toward that 64.30 level based on these highs back through here as well as some lows. And a break there would expose that 64.90. All right, so again, swing low back here. This candle low, it broke down and then started serving as resistance. And above that, we have 65.80. So notice this low broke down, resistance, resistance. So that's the scenario I'm watching for if buyers can break channel resistance. So if they can close the pair above this level on a daily closing basis, I would expect buyers to want to defend this area. All right, but as of right now, we don't have a daily close above that level. So this thing is still serving as resistance, which means we could see sellers come out and defend this thing as resistance and perhaps even push the pair lower. There's no guarantee that we will get a close above this. And even if we do, there is no guarantee that we will see a push higher from the New Zealand dollar. But when I combine all the factors we just looked at, the 2001 trend line, the falling wedge, and this descending channel, along with the fact that the pair is at this swing low, all right, I have to think that there is a good chance we see a close above this level and a push higher from the New Zealand dollar. If for no other reason, again, going back to this weekly time frame, this 2001 trend line combined with this falling wedge, this alone could help to trigger a move higher. Now, there's no guarantee it could be 100 pips, 200 pips, or 300 pips all the way back to this level. We just don't know that. But I do think that based on this confluence of support, that the New Zealand dollar could be trying to bottom here, and a break again above that channel top, right around 63.60, could send the pair higher, again up towards 64.30, perhaps even 64.90, and maybe even 65.80. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comment below, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. See you next time.